Yay! Yes. Oh, would you look at that? It's actually working the way it's supposed to now. Oh, for the love of God. The amount of effort that has taken me to get this laptop to actually stream. Not, I messed around a lot with OBS settings over the last, 2 hours. And I have managed to get OBS to stream, just way more stably on this laptop. I mean, how many system resources am I even using right now? 24% CPU. And now that we're actually GPU accelerated, 44% on the GPU. That's all I needed to do. I just needed to convince OBS to actually run on the integrated graphics. Now everything's fine. Empty CO2 bottle. I'll just put that over here. I need to order CO2 next week. Down to my last bottle. Right. Meatloaf. I am making meatloaf. And I will be using the same recipe I always use. And where are my bookmarks? Bookmarks bar. Meatloaf recipe. Where are you? There you are. This is from Recipe Tin Eats. This meatloaf recipe. It is the meatloaf recipe brackets extra delicious. I don't know. This is the meatloaf recipe I always use, and it's not great. Sure, I am the only person that seems to like it. I tried to give some to my parents, and they both said, "Ew," but I like it, and that's all that matters. It's my meatloaf, and I don't care. I'm just trying to remember what I need here. Use at least 15% fat. Well, that's 20%, so we're fine. Onion. Oh, crap. Okay, we're not grating the onion. It's 5 a.m. I can't get the food processor out at 5 a.m. I'll get noise complaints. Just making sure I haven't forgotten anything. I don't have any white vinegar, so I'll use cider vinegar. That's close enough. Give it a little bit of acidity. Don't see the ingredients list anywhere here. Why is it all the way at the bottom? Yes, can we have metric measurements, please? I have way too many breadcrumbs. This only wants 50 grams. What? Oh, then it wants more later. 150 grams. Right, fine. We'll put you there. I went out and bought ketchup and brown sugar just so I can make this. And you might be thinking, how did you buy it at 5 a.m? I didn't. I bought it at 10 p.m. And it has taken me until now to get around to actually making this. And I've got my keys on camera again. It's not like copying those keys would even really help you get in here, because you'd need to copy the one that's really difficult to get hold of. Where is the lid to that? Right. Freshly clean. Freshly clean. I made brownies, and I could have streamed that, to be honest, but I was not awake. Not the best idea to make brownies when not awake, but they went okay. I only made a small batch because I only had enough to fit in this tray. I had very, very small amounts of butter and chocolate, but I made a small batch of brownies and it worked. I also made cookies, which did not. These are supposed to be chocolate sugar biscuits. They went out rather than up, and they don't have a good crumb. They're really soft. They taste all right. They're nice and sweet, but not that much chocolate. I used too much chocolate making the brownies. no big deal. No big deal. Right, preheat that oven. Preheat the oven to 180. What are you set to? There you go, 180. Okay. Breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs. A lot of breadcrumbs. I'm going to have to freeze the rest of these. I left these in my fridge to dry out, and they are definitely dry and stale now. There we go. 150 grams of breadcrumbs. I need a tub. The birds are chirping. Sun must be coming up. What the? This is supposed to be a clean tub. Oh, the inside is clean. It's the outside that's filthy. Ugh. Covered in all the spit that my wine gave off when it exploded. I really don't understand that, to be honest. There's no solids or anything in there that could cause it to foam up, but it still foamed and went everywhere. Anyway, that's almost done brewing, actually. Let me check that. Yeah, here it is. This is probably going to be about 4 litres of cherry wine. It is very nearly done brewing. Yeah, there's absolutely no CO2 left in there. I'll give it another few days, and then I'll filter it off and bottle it. Well, no, I'll have to filter it off and pasteurize it, and then I can bottle it. And then here's cider. This is the leftover berries I had and a lot of apple juice. Like, this thing is almost 60% apple juice. Hopefully this one works. And if you're asking what's with the zip ties, this silicone stopper, whatever it's called, it just slowly ekes out. It doesn't hold itself in there properly. But it's in there, it's sealed. This one probably needs another week or two. There's still quite a bit of CO2 in there. But if I've done it right, they should both be about 11 to 14% strength when they're done. And okay, fine, 11% isn't that strong for a wine, but it's plenty strong for a cider. It's just the limitations of home brewing. You need to get specialty yeasts to go above 14%, and they're expensive to import. Well, you don't have to import them, you can buy them locally. But the cheaper ones you have to import, and they're still expensive. Is my microphone even working? Yes, it is. Just noticed there's no background noise today, and that would make sense because I'm not making any. Yeah, man. Okay, that is a problem. I have too much. I have too many breadcrumbs. I see. Can I squash them in here? I mean, breadcrumbs are mostly just air. They're not very dense. Oh yes, you can. Oh, I just threw that bit on the floor. You can squash them in. Okay. Oh, it broke when it hit the floor. I can't use my vacuum at this time of night. Where's my brush? There we go. I should keep that somewhere I can actually get to it, to be honest. Right. How much is in there? Let's take the lid off. Estimate about 25 to 30 grams for the tub. There's probably another 300 grams of crumbs there. Not sure what I'll use that for, but if I freeze them, they should go to like a panko consistency, so I can use that for a lot of stuff. Okay. Right, breadcrumbs. Lots of breadcrumbs. Don't need that right now. I think I've been blacklisted from my local Facebook give and takery group, by the way. And the reason I say that is because there is a Facebook group called Hastings Give and Takery. It's a free exchange thing. You post the stuff you want to get rid of, you ask for stuff you'd like to receive, and anyone who has those things or wants those things arranges to do a trade. I posted asking for any kind of USB webcam or microphone about 2 weeks ago. Got no replies. And then yesterday, someone posted asking for a USB webcam and microphone. Dozens of replies. So, either I'm being blacklisted or I'm being ignored. One large onion. Well, I do have one large onion. That's my only large onion. And now I need to grate it. Yeah, that's not happening. I will just really finely dice it. You ever tried grating an onion with a hand grater? You will lose a finger. You will. But seriously, that's covered in cigarette ash. Okay, great, that is a wash. If I try to hand grate, I'm going to lose a finger. So, I'm not doing it. Where's my small knife? Aha! If I chop it finely enough, it won't matter. I mean, my grater was only going to get like 5mm chunks of onion anyway. I can probably grate it that small. My onions are escaping. They have literally just fallen out of the bag. Come on. 3 days until I get paid and I've got 3 onions left. Using the knife upside down, that's smart. It's a knife, not a sword. And I am going to slip and slide everywhere right now. Hold on a second. Put the tea towel down. Now it doesn't move. On the topic of improving this stream, I had a little look at microphones and webcams that I could possibly buy to improve everything. The issue I have is the vast majority of USB microphones, nothing that has to go through the really dodgy DAC in this laptop, are designed for streaming. They're omnidirectional microphones. They just go in front of your face or to the side. They are not like shotgun mics, which is what I need. The shotgun mics are almost always aux only, or XLR, and I have no way of plugging that into this laptop for the stream. So then I looked at wireless lavalier mics, because, you know, that would work. You can get the really cheap ones that may or may not sound good, or you can get the really good ones, and there's nothing in between. There's nothing affordable. Also, I've used lavalier mics before. My voice is really deep. If you put a microphone here, all you get is pure bass. I don't know how to make a lav mic sound good with my voice. I'm not an audio engineer. I do not know how to make a lav mic sound good with my voice. I don't know. Maybe someone with a bit more experience in cinematography could help. I mean, I took a filmmaking course. I have a GCSE in it. But we didn't really cover audio setups. It was filming techniques, not the finer aspects of making a movie, which is getting the audio right. Oh, that bit doesn't want to go in. Nope. Yeah, that's all nice and finely diced. Oh, that was my finger. Okay. Any big bits? Nope. Okay. 1 onion. Garlic cloves. I do not have garlic cloves, but I do have garlic powder. I'll just use a lot, which is going to make this very garlicky. Worcestershire sauce. I don't have any, but I do have soy sauce with barley, which tastes very similar. 55 grams of ketchup. Sweetened ketchup. Really? Has it always said that? 55 grams of ketchup. Is this good enough? It's 22% sugar by weight. It's just the cheapest ketchup that my shop sells. 55 grams. Okay, 60 grams. Big deal. I'd say that's sweetened. Parsley. I do not have parsley, but I do have a mix that is mostly parsley. No, it's mostly thyme. Close enough. Two beef bouillon cubes. I do have those. Yeah, I only have 2 left. I need to buy more. Wait, don't I need egg for this recipe? Oh, I managed to skip past the egg. Okay. I got the eggs. Like, I know I need eggs. Just managed to skip past that step. Now my hands smell of beef. Now my hands smell of beef. What's with the hole in my wall? I have the camera in a different position than normal. That's not normally visible. I am currently remodeling the bit of wall above my sink. I'm currently rebuilding the fake wall that hides my water tank. Yeah, let's put it that way. And when I say currently remodeling, I mean I ripped the whole thing apart about a week ago and I don't get paid for another few days, so now I just look at it. And yeah, it's not great. Nothing I can do. The thing was affecting my posture and it was covered in mould, which I didn't know about until I took it apart, but it's a good thing I found out because that could have been a serious health concern. That could have been a health concern. Right. Give that a little toss. Cool. 2 eggs. And then it's just the beef. Well, I only had the 2 eggs. What kind of fairy tap was that? Okay, that shell did not want to behave. That shell did not want to behave. And beef. Before beef, I should probably stir this, right? Do I stir this? The recipe is not that... It doesn't... what are the words I'm looking for here? The recipe isn't too insistent on the order of adding ingredients other than breadcrumbs, then onion. So that the onion juices are absorbed by the breadcrumbs, apparently. Then it just said add the rest and mix with hands. It does not... It doesn't really care, apparently. Smells like stuffing. Looks like stuffing. Look at this and tell me it isn't a dog's dinner. Looks like a dog's dinner. This looks like dog's food right now. Oh well. Skizzers. Defrosted mince. Smells like the fridge. Hey, stay in there. This bowl is too small. This bowl is too small. Come on. Come on. I need a bigger bowl. Let's just get it to start mixing together, then I can use my hands. Okay. So there's beef on my tea towel. That's nice. Really don't like this part. I really don't like this part. Try to avoid it. It's the ketchup that makes this worse. You ever covered your hands in ketchup? It's not a nice experience. And it's still cold. It's not quite room temperature. Ugh. What would happen if I turned this into a beef burger right now? Would it even work? Ugh. I'd say that's homogeneous. You're not supposed to be there. Okay. Take a nice big handful and put it in the tin. And put it in the tin. This does look like something that comes out of you, not something that goes in. Ugh, just doesn't sit right with me that this is actually food. Okay. No, you are a bit of onion. You go there. Meatloaf. Smells good. That. Look at these hands. One is not the same colour as the other anymore. Is that even visible? How one is just brown? Duh. Ugh. My hand still doesn't feel clean. You ever clean your hand and not feel clean? It's not nice. Right. 45 minutes, then add glaze, then 30 minutes, and then leave to stand for 10. Cool, let's make the glaze. Let's make the glaze. I think it's the glaze that my parents didn't like. Don't tell me I've got beef on my shirt. Yeah, I think I have. Ketchup. 110 grams of ketchup. Two tablespoons of cider vinegar. 1, 2, bit more because I like it. Oh, I forgot to put pepper in. That's going to affect things. I didn't pepper the damn thing. Yeah, that's not even food. Doesn't tell you to add salt at any point. That's probably a mistake. Beef always needs salt. I'm going to add a tiny bit. See if that helps. Right. Brown sugar, 1 tablespoon. That's a lot of sugar for 1 tablespoon. Yeah. There is beef. There's probably a good 3 grams of beef there that didn't make it into the bowl. Damn. Any more? Did I just... Must have been when I put the bag down. Spoon. Sugar, cider vinegar, and ketchup. That is the glaze. Right, the weight of the sugar should stop that from opening itself. Great. And it tells me to use about half. That is good. I should use that as a sauce. It's just sweetened acidic ketchup. And for some reason that works. No, don't want to turn that on. Right. Meatloaf. Glazed and ready for its 45 minutes in the oven. Double check I haven't missed anything. Yeah, seriously, no salt. Why? Oh, this does want thyme in it, as well as parsley. It wants a 1/4 cup of parsley. That's a lot of parsley. And it needs to be fresh chopped parsley. Oh, or 2 tablespoons of dried. Alternatively, basil. Doesn't that have all 3? Yeah. Thyme, sage, parsley, basil. No rosemary. Yeah, it's 3/4 of a song. Just missing that rosemary. Ah, time to go in. 45 minutes from now is 6 a.m. In it goes. And now for the chatting portion of the cooking and chatting stream, I guess. Because got 45 minutes until that has to come out. And then it goes back in for another 30. At which point I will make chips, I think. Meatloaf and chips, meatloaf and mash, meatloaf and potato. Meatloaf and something, yeah. That's the meal. I've turned into my dad. Oh yeah. Trying to figure out why I ever used this. I was baking. That's why I used it. I should get a drink. Yeah. Let's get a drink. That's a small kitchen for so much cookware. Yeah, this is a small kitchen for so much cookware. You're right. Yeah, there's not much I can do about that. I own what I own. I use what I use. Okay, fine. Maybe I don't need 2 stew pots, but the smaller one I use for stew, the bigger one I use for big portions of stew. Like, I'm not just going to use the big one every time I want a small portion of stew. Plus, the big one was expensive. All over my feet. All over my feet. Right, gotta move the laptop. The laptop that's... the little foam feet on the damn thing are coming unstuck. That'll be from how many times I've had this thing taken apart. I should glue them back in place. Why is the cold water warm? Why is the cold water warm? Still warm. Where's the cold water? There it is. It seems dark over here. Yeah, it is. There's no lights set up over here right now because I have the thing taken apart. I have it taken apart, so there's no lights. There's usually 2 of these, which are just C10 bulbs in a receptacle. I can probably get smaller ones than these when I rebuild the thing. And I really should, because these things are, yeah, they're starting to rust. Maximum lamp wattage 35. How much does a halogen bulb use? Because these are halogen rated. Could have sworn halogens used more. No incandescence. Okay, no incandescence. So, IP20 rated? This is partially waterproofed? Or water resistant? IP20. Like, IP65 is what we use on phones. And that's splash resistance or partial submersion. What's IP20? I don't know. Those were in the ceiling when I moved in. I'm going to replace them. Actually, I probably have to. Because I'm going to be moving this ceiling portion up. I don't think there's enough space. Where's my tape measure? Right. So to get these in, I need about, let's say, 15 centimeters of clearance. And I'm going to have 7. Yeah, okay. Well, conservatively, I might have 9. So let's say 9. I need a smaller receptacle for that light, definitely. Unless I move it to the left, but then I'd only have 1. There's enough room. If I put the light right on the left and maybe angle it, there's enough room. But if I want 2 lights like I had before, 1 on the left, 1 on the right, yeah, there's only 9 centimeters of clearance on the right. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get a smaller receptacle. Which, they exist. When I go to buy the plaster, the polyfiller, the tiles, and the tiling equipment, and the mud I need for the tiles, and the wood, when I go and basically spend my entire paycheck at B&Q, I will see what they have in the lighting section. They definitely make smaller ones. I've seen them as small as 5 centimeters. Really? 5? No, that doesn't sound right. The bulb would have to be sticking out. Because these things on their own are like 6. Right? The bulb would have to be sticking out. Yeah, this thing on its own is 6. And this has been used. That has been used before. Okay, I must have put it back in the box. Yeah, so if the light on its own is 6, realistically I think the smallest one you could get is probably 8. Because you've got to have room for terminals and a housing and a wiring harness. And yeah, I don't think they make them smaller than 8. Get one that protrudes from the ceiling a little, problem solved. I could. There we go, that's full. Put that back in the fridge. Huh? The website crashed. Like, I'm done following the recipe, so I don't need it anymore, but the website crashed. Or did my Wi-Fi go down? No. That just peaked. Like, that just peaked the microphone. How? Even when I'm right up next to it yelling, it doesn't peak. What? Whatever that was, it sounded horrendous. Sorry, it was CO2 escaping. Yeah. Soda streams, powered by CO2. And sadly, they're not powered by greenhouse-saving extracted CO2. No, we generate our CO2. We don't pull it from the atmosphere, because it's much, much cheaper to just make it fresh. So remember, every time you have a soda stream, you are contributing to global warming. I'll take that off so I don't get spray in my face. Tastes good though. What flavour is that? Cherry Pepsi. Cherry Pepsi. Put that at the camera, yeah, there you go. Actually Pepsi branded and SodaStream branded. So this isn't cheap, but Pepsi is partnered with SodaStream, so if you want a Pepsi syrup, you have to buy it like this. Or you could just go and raid your local fast food joint. Like, if you happen to work at KFC and you have access to the syrups compartment, wherever they keep that, that's Pepsi. It will work in a SodaStream. Might take a bit of effort to get the ratios right, but it'll work. If I do that, I'm using this stream as evidence in my defense. No, I'm not condoning stealing from KFC. And I'm not instructing you to steal from KFC. Do not steal from anyone, anywhere. Please. Just don't. Shame I can't go back in time and tell the people running the British Museum to not steal anything. The British Museum is just full of stolen artifacts. Other museums are no better. No. Other museums are better because they give those artifacts back when they're asked. The British Museum? No. Mine now, we're keeping it. Apologies for the noise, I'm doing the washing up. I have another 35 minutes, so better tidy up, eh? Stream is looking better today. Yes, it is. Stable frame rate. It helps. That camera is too high up, isn't it? I should move it probably like an inch down. Well, it's also not straight, apparently. That is physically impossible. It's on a straight pole. How are you not straight? Huh? No, I don't believe that. Is a level? Are you straight? No, it's way off. Jesus. Okay, which way did I need to move that? Huh, okay. So apparently, like that. Yeah, that's level. Huh. So if I turn it that way, it's not level, but if I turn it that way, it is. Really? Okay, well. Yeah, close enough. And yes, I am just holding a spirit level to my phone. That's perfectly sensible and safe. And this one's magnetic too, so that's definitely sensible and safe. Are you actually steel? Yep. Anyway, good God, it's hot in here now. Oh. Did I just see a fly? Did I just see a fly? I think I just saw a fly. I'm going to put this in the fridge. Just to be safe. And why do I think there's something in my microwave? No? I was like, I'll put it in the microwave, but there's something in there. But there isn't. I'm imagining things now, which is technically my job because I'm a creative writer. I write fiction. That's what I do, but there is a difference between a creative imagination and an imagination that just confuses you. Maybe the fly ate whatever was in the microwave. Yeah, maybe it did. Maybe it somehow went through a solid sealed microwave door and ate whatever was in there. The plate as well. Just to make sure that I was confused. That's one hell of a fly. It's possible? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Like, even if you believe in probability theory, which says that everything has a chance of being... No, it says that everything can happen, even if it's infinitesimally small of a chance for it to happen. No. Okay? Just, a fly did not eat whatever I thought was in the microwave. That didn't happen. If we're going that far, what about quantum tunneling? Food did not quantum tunnel out of my microwave. No. But that's still possible. Okay, fine. Aliens from Mars could have beamed it out of my... Aliens from Mars could have beamed it out Star Trek style. Okay, it could have been beamed up by the Enterprise for all I know. Or there was just never anything in there, and I'm misremembering. It is far more likely that my brain is just effing up, rather than there actually being something in that microwave. You can't even see the microwave. Look, it's right there! This thing! This is a microwave. You can see it, I can see it. I'm looking at the camera, I can see it. All I see is your bald head. Okay. Okay. No. But it is bald. I agree, it is bald. That wasn't me. No one's just commented, but it is bald. I did that in the wrong tone. Okay, apology accepted. I should just give up and accept just, yes, okay, I'm bald and people are going to point it out. But when I had hair, people kept pointing out that I should just shave it off because it was going remarkably thin at the top. Like, back here, I have no hair. I don't even need to shave this bit of my head. There is no hair here anymore. And what is left of the top is so thin that it doesn't cover that. So, yes, I am bald, and that's it. I give up. I am bald. Unless someone wants to donate for a trip to Turkey to go and get a hair transplant. No, I'm not going to Turkey for a hair transplant, but I do have a valid passport for the next 3 years, so I could. Just get a toupee, it's cheaper. No. A, I'm not over 50, and B, no. Also, the odds of finding a toupee that matches my hair colour, very slim. It's a very light blonde with such a tiny hint of brown. My hair colour is not going to be reproducible on a toupee, unless I have one made from my own hair, which I could do. I'm almost convincing myself to get a toupee right now. Stop it. Okay, I'm moving the chat so I can't see it. Okay, I am moving you so I can't see you. There. I cannot see you, but you can see me. You look uncomfortable using that sink, get a dishwasher. I don't know where or how I would plumb in a dishwasher if I had one. There is no room for a dishwasher. But yes, this sink is uncomfortable to use, and the problem is that it's just that tiny bit too low down. If it was, I don't know, 6 inches to a foot taller, it'd be so much more comfortable. But that's just a me problem because I'm 6'3", so I'm just too tall. Being tall is useful, sure, I can touch the ceiling, but that doesn't mean it's always useful. How's the meatloaf? Oh yes, all those juices are bubbling. Looks good. Well, sun's up. 5:40 in the morning. It's a stupidly early time for the sun to be up. Goddamn you, summer. Well, it's technically still spring. Anyway. And now we wait. 20 minutes, add the rest of the glaze, then 30 minutes. Put that back in the wrong place, that was smart. What's the date today? The 4th? May the 4th be with you, everyone. Yeah, Steam is doing a sale on all the Star Wars games, and I can't afford any of them. Not that I need any of them, but, you know, Force Unleashed, good game. I don't own it on PC. I only own it on... Actually, no, I don't own it at all. I had to borrow it from my dad last time I played it. I don't own Force Unleashed. Huh. I probably had it on PS3. And I would have had it physically because my internet as a kid was just non-existent. I barely got 5 megabits if I was lucky, so there was just no point buying a digital game. So, yeah, I would have had it on PS3 physically, which means I got rid of it when I got rid of the console. Yikes, I do not own Force Unleashed. That's a good game, actually. Like, if you like Star Wars games, it's a good game. Force Unleashed 2 was a bit of a letdown, but at least we got a sequel. At least we got a sequel. When was the last time I actually did any writing? That is my question. Right, where's the book I'm actually working on right now? Like, I went to... Here's the thing. I get way too many ideas at once, and I try to work on as many of them as I can. And... what was the title of that book I was trying to write? Was it this? When was the last... No, that's 2022. 2025? Have I not touched this in a year? Have I not opened this file in a year? You're kidding. May 2025 was apparently the last time I opened this file. I don't believe that, because I seem to remember writing it not too long ago, or editing it not so long ago. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. That's I should really finish that book. How far into it did I get? 87 pages, 68,000 words. Oh. Okay, so I'm probably not even close to finishing the first draft. I know how it ends. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, what about that book I started December last year? How far did I get into that? I started writing that about October time, and apparently the last time I touched it was November, December. I got how many pages in? Oh, I only finished the first chapter. It's only 20 pages. Really? Did I seriously write all of that in one day? Oh, okay. It's 24 pages. I apparently wrote all that in one day. Fine, so I haven't actually done any new writing in about 6 months. What about the book that I have been working on for the past 3 years? I haven't touched that since March. Oh god. I haven't touched this one since March. How far into the story am I? I think it's about 300 pages right now. How many chapters am I in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 chapters drafted. How many pages? How many pages is this so far? It's oh, Word is still counting. Word is trying to count. The word count keeps changing. The word count keeps changing. Why? It's 350 pages long, and I don't think I've finished the first draft of this so far. How far did I get with the rewrite? I think I got as far as chapter 12. I reached a point in the story, and then I realised that, yeah, this isn't the direction I want to go, so I went back to the beginning and started editing a few plot points. And I think I only got to about chapter 12. No, 13. Okay. So I need to finish the rewriting the plot, and then I can get towards changing. I can probably finish that before the end of the year if I actually sit down and do some writing. But yeah, I apparently haven't done anything since March. So it's been 2 months since I last did any creative writing. That's not the best gap. If you want to keep the creative juices flowing, you should really be writing every other day or once a week at least. Problem is, I'm still coming up with ideas in my head constantly for the projects I'm working on. I just haven't gotten around to writing any of them down, so really I'm just daydreaming. I have a fairly decent memory though, so the next time I do sit down, I will remember that I've had those ideas. Yeah. I'll try and get at least one book out by the end of the year. Next year, try another one. I have plenty of ideas. I've got plenty of partially written manuscripts and a lot of skeleton plots written down. I just need to get around to actually bulking them out and turning them into a book. And then getting my grammar checked, because my grammar is awful. What do I write about? It varies. I am a fiction writer, so it's mostly fantasy. that I have been working on recently, but I've tried thriller. I have written some thriller. You just type my name into Amazon, all my books come up. Except for one. One of the books that comes up isn't mine, and I've asked Amazon to remove it over and over and over again, and they still haven't. It's not available to purchase, but it still comes up when you type my name in. There is also that book that's been incorrectly linked to another book I've written that has the same name. I wrote a book called Set in Stone, and there's another book called Set in Stone that Amazon's just linked the purchase pages for. So if you try to purchase Set in Stone, which I don't recommend, that's not one of my best, it comes up with another book called Set in Stone by a different author that's 30 odd years old. The book, not the author. I don't even know how Amazon's done that. I've complained about it, and they said they removed the match and separated the pages, but they haven't. And the issue is, it shouldn't have happened. Yeah, okay, they have the same name. They're by two different authors, and they have different barcode numbers, so they're not the same book. This is what you get for using somebody else's title. No, really. Like, yeah, okay, fine. The titles for books can be copyrighted, and you might not be able to reuse them. But when they're just... The issue with titles for books and copyright in general is there are a lot of exemptions, and in my case, the way I got around it is because my book has absolutely nothing to do with the other book that shares that same name. And there's more than one book with Set in Stone as a title. Like, it isn't just this one book that is the issue. Like, I don't know who the original title would belong to, if it belongs to anyone. But given that there are a few dozen books called Set in Stone out there, I felt it was okay to use the name, and it fit the story I wrote. The story itself isn't great. I have this problem when I'm writing. I will finish a draft and say, yeah, okay, that's good enough, I'll publish it, without actually getting a second opinion first. So I published it, and then a year or two later I realised I really shouldn't have done that. I should have given it at least one more draft. Yeah, and now it's too late. I preemptively published it. I should have waited until one more draft was written, or at least one more edit. The plot is a bit rushed, the characters are a bit basic, some of the events are a bit forced. I think the world building in the first 3 chapters were okay, but the rest of the book, rushed, under-explained, poorly explained, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll take it down and rewrite it someday. I did that for the first 3 Ethereum books. Yeah. My ongoing high fantasy book series, the Ethereum, is currently at 8 books with 2 spin-offs. The first 3 I wrote back to back when I was 18. Like, from September to May. Like, September of 2017 to May of 2018, I wrote all 3 of those first books. I just didn't stop. I wrote the first one, gave it 3 drafts, published it. Wrote the second one, gave it 3 drafts, published it. Wrote the third one in record time, gave it 5 drafts because it needed reworks, and published it. And then I started working on other things. Those were my first books. Those were the first things I'd ever published. That was the first time I had gone into the high fantasy genre. And the first book especially, Winter's War, that needed a lot of edits and reworks. The second and third I kind of learnt from writing Winter's War, so they were slightly better. But yeah, I went back and fixed them. I took down the original listings, and I redesigned the covers too, and I flushed out a few plot points. I changed a lot of the dialogue. I updated the grammar and the tone. It was essentially an entire rewrite, but the bulk of the story is still the same. Like, it had to be, because by the time I went back and rewrote them, I had already written book 5. So, it was a bit late. But yeah, it's been a while since I published book 7, so when did I publish book 7? I should really get on with book 8. When did I publish book 7? Go into my published folder. Book 7 was published August 24. So it's been almost 2 years since book 7 came out. Yeah, I need to get on with writing book 8. I really do. Like, these books, when I was originally writing them and I was able to, flush out an entire book in a month. I was doing a manuscript a month back then. It was ridiculous. I just had all of this creative energy. And since being on antidepressants, that's really mellowed out, sadly. But back when I was able to get manuscripts out month after month, I figured I would be publishing 2 Ethereum books a year. And in the beginning, I was. I published books 1 and 2 in 2017. And I published book 3 in 2018. I published book 4 in 2018. And 5 was 2019, I think. 6 I didn't publish until 2021. And then book 7 was 2024. Yeah, okay, fine. That was a 3-year gap. So book 8 isn't really that far behind compared to the previous one. The issue that happened with book 7 is that I moved house twice. I had mental health fall-offs and problems and delays happened, and I just wasn't writing for about 8 months straight. So nothing was really getting done, and I wanted to work on other projects, so I did those instead. And yeah, book 7 just went on the back burner. And then I finally sat down and figured I should finish this. What's book 8 about? I cannot explain that without spoiling the plot of the last 3 books. Yeah, I really can't explain that without... Well, I can. Ow. Okay, there's a slushing machine there that I just headbutted. Book 7 was effectively just an entire combat sequence. The entire book was just an entire fight. And you might be saying 500 pages is a long book for one fight. Okay, fine, but it's high fantasy and they were fighting for 12 hours straight. There's a lot to explain. The Ethereum was fighting God in that book. And book 8 is the aftermath of that. And yeah, okay, fine, there's probably going to be at least one comment after I've said that. What the hell is the power scaling if the Ethereum fights God? Yeah, power scaling is a mess in the Ethereum series. Power scaling is a mess. Like, the first book, he's effectively God himself. Like, the Ethereum is as powerful as God in the first book. He gets weaker over time. And you could say that's age, you could say that's because he's died a few dozen times, or you could say that's because he's swapped bodies a few times. Or had magic ripped out of him twice. Either way, the Ethereum has gotten weaker and more grounded, and other characters has gotten even more stronger than him. Even stronger than him. It is a wonder that I am able to write at all, considering I cannot speak. Yeah. I also wrote an isekai at some point, didn't I? If you're unfamiliar with anime, isekai is where you get reincarnated in another world with all of your past world knowledge, and you usually have a lot of power fantasy-esque things in an isekai. Yeah, here it is. When was the last time I touched this? January 2024. Okay. How far into the story did I get? 20 chapters. That is mostly finished then. That is mostly finished. 407 pages. Is this a finished manuscript? Is this a finished manuscript? No. Yeah, the last chapter is blank. Okay. So I wrote most of an isekai. It's not really an isekai-esque, but it's not teenage boy from Japan gets sent to fantasy world. No. This is more Overlord than it is regular isekai. Demon King gets reincarnated into a new world. That was the premise. And it's not finished, apparently. I should reread that and see where I ended. So I've got plenty of projects that I need to finish. Like, how many partially written manuscripts do I have right now? Right, books on their first draft phase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have 15 books in a first draft phase. How many in second draft? 9. How many skeleton scripts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. I have 20 skeleton scripts. 9 in second draft. However many I just said in first draft. How many in third draft? 1. I have 1 third draft manuscript. Okay. How many ideas? So, pre-skeleton manuscript. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 31. I have 31 ideas, and however many of the others I just said. Jeez. So if I just focus on the ones that are in a third draft state, I can get those out pretty quickly. The ones that are still in a first draft state, I'll have to find the ones that are mostly written. I think this one that I haven't touched since February of 24, I think that's mostly finished. Let me see. How many chapters is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 chapters, 209 pages. Yeah, that's not a finished manuscript. 209 pages is too short to be a finished manuscript. I don't write books that short. I was right, or what? Did I ever get around to writing a manuscript to that, or did I just leave it as a idea? No, I never wrote a manuscript for it. It's just in a skeleton script state. Damn it. I like that plot. I need to actually write that book. Okay, time for the other half of the glaze. Enough talking about writing. I haven't been checking chat for the last few minutes either. Where do I get my ideas from? Good question. They're just in there. No, that's not true. Like, I have an active mind. I'm always thinking about something else when I'm doing something, so, you know, if I'm playing a video game, watching a movie, listening to music, reading something else, I usually get inspired. I think one of my most promising early inspirations. Anyone familiar with the anime Knights of Sidonia? I was like, oh, all of humanity surviving on one gigantic, several-mile-long spaceship in deep space. That's a nice idea. So, yeah, I'm eventually going to get around to writing a book about that. I'm not going to copy the fighting aliens in mechs aspect. No. I'm not brave enough to try that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Now that's a meatloaf. Come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, I need to clean that oven. Oh. I need to clean that oven. Definitely. You cover it in glaze so you don't char the beef. You don't want a charred meatloaf. Well, unless you do. It's like having an extra thick crust on bread. But there it is. Second glazing done. How much juice we got in there? Not a lot. It's supposed to be 20% fat. Where's all the fat? Anyway. That wants at least another 30 minutes. I'll give it 35 because that's just easier for the math. So at 20 to 7 that comes out and it gets a 10-minute rest before serving. And you give it a 10-minute rest because if you take it out while it's still at the oven temperature, it will crumble apart if you try to slice it. You need to wait for it to cool a little so it actually binds. You could just wait for it to come down to room temperature and eat it cold. It's quite nice when it's cold. It's nice and firm too. You can actually slice it like bread. But I want to actually eat this as a meal, so I prefer meals to be warm. Or at least hotter than meat. Right, where is that manuscript for that Knights of Sidonia inspired story? I know I started writing it, I just don't know what I called it. Is this it? 2023? It's a 4 megabyte file, so it's a pretty big one. No, that's not it at all. Don't know what that is, to be honest. It's not that. It's definitely not that. Not that. What the hell is this? 2022. I don't recognize this name. I do not recognize this name. Oh, that was going to be about werewolves. Yeah, maybe I won't write that. Werewolves is overdone. Oh, I remember this. 2021? Oh, that's early. How flushed out is this manuscript? Come on, Word. I'm loading all of this from the cloud, so it takes a minute. That shouldn't be listed as a first draft. That's a skeleton script. That's in the wrong place, okay? I apparently don't have a manuscript for that Knights of Sidonia inspired thing. Is this it? I don't recognize this title. Aren't I supposed to be making chips? Yeah, in a minute. No, that's my gritty detective solving a murder case story that I need to get around to finishing as well. What about this? Is this it? No, that's from February last year. That can't be it. At least I would be surprised if it is. Oh, that's just... I don't know what that is. That doesn't even sound like my writing style. February last year? What the hell was I on? Ooh, I remember that plot. 2020? Ugh. Yeah, I don't see that script anywhere here. Maybe it's on my computer in the wrong file folder thing. Maybe it's on my desktop in the wrong folder. I usually keep all my books in the cloud just so that I can access them on different devices. Because, you know, I'm not always at home. Sometimes I need to write on my laptop or read something on my tablet. Like, just keep it all in the cloud. It's fine. I don't keep it all in the cloud. Obviously, the files are saved on a local device somewhere, but they're accessible from the cloud. Let's put it that way. There is water in the handle. There is water in the handle. Okay, water is out of the handle. Got about 23 minutes until that comes out. So put the chips in 15. Need to make the chips first. Can't have chips if you don't make the chips. Too much Pepsi. Too much Pepsi. too much Pepsi. Do I make any money off writing? No. You don't make money as a self-published author. Only way you make money off writing is if you write a golden manuscript and you actually get picked up by a real publisher. If you're just self-publishing through Amazon Kindle, no, you don't make any money. I mean, I make some, maybe. I make enough to buy a week's worth of food every now and then. Nothing to live on. There is nowhere near enough money to live on in writing. Look, if you want to make it as a writer, go back to the 70s. There's a lot more money in writing in the 70s. Actually, go back to the 60s. Yeah, you'd make it as a writer in the 60s. So do you not recommend writing as a career? No, it's not a career. It really isn't. Maybe that's only true for you? Okay, fine. Look up the r/writing subreddit and the amount of posts for young authors being disappointed at how often they're rejected by publishers. Publishers are not accepting new authors. They just want their cash cows to keep delivering them manuscripts. They don't care about new talent, if there is such a thing. The only way you get a publisher to accept your manuscript is if you give them the editorial rights so that they can turn your story into something they actually want to sell. And I'm not giving my editorial rights to anyone. My books are mine. My stories are mine. You are not changing them just to fit whatever marketing ploy or scheme you're trying to make money from that month. So it's just hopeless unless you give up your rights. Yeah, pretty much. It's not that dire. I mean, maybe if you have a golden manuscript, like I said, a publisher will accept it. Maybe. It's not completely unheard of for publishers to accept young, new talent who are just nameless, out of nowhere. This is my first book, please publish it. That does happen. It just doesn't happen enough that you can count on it happening in order to make a living from writing. So I don't make a living from writing. I make a living from everything else I do. Like writing is such a small percentage of my income, I don't even really count it as income. I do make some money, okay? I've written enough books that there are the occasional sales that make me some money. But I'm talking less than 100 sales a year, which is less than 300 quid a year. So, and Well, no, that's provided it's a paperback version. If it's a Kindle version, I make even less. So no, I do not make any money from writing, or at least not enough to pay the bills. But do I care when the end result of all my hard work is a physical book with my name on it? No, I do not care. This is a physical book. This is one of my longest, actually. I think it is my longest. Yeah, it's 700 pages. Should have really been 2 books. Anyway, I get a physical product at the end of it that I can put on a shelf and display. So, fine, I don't make any money, but I do get something. Where did I get the artwork from for that book? Looks good. I got it from one of those like Shutterstock image hosting sites. What is it called? What is it called? Stock photo sites. Yeah, I'm subscribed to quite a few of them, which have a monthly cost for, downloads and stuff. But I get most of my artwork from places like that, unless I've designed it myself, which I have done for quite a few books. But every now and then you hear stories of things that were uploaded to a stock photo site that didn't actually have the rights to be on there, and then I have to make sure it wasn't anything I've used, because then I'd have to take it down and declare that I had this many sales using your artwork, here is the money, please don't sue me. Yeah, stuff like that happens. You have to be careful. I mean, these photos like Shutterstock and all the other stock photo sites, they're supposed to protect you from that. Like, if something ends up having been hosted that wasn't supposed to be on their website and you didn't actually have the correct rights, their legal department or whatever is supposed to help you. They're not that helpful in my experience, but I've never had to go through this process, so it's fine. I'm not frying that. Wait, so stuff on stock photo sites isn't always good to use? Yeah, just because it's on a stock photo site and you paid for a license that gives you creative rights for it, doesn't mean that those creative rights were actually that photo's website to sell. Let's just continue using Shutterstock, for example. You pay a subscription to get however many tokens a month to download images, and those tokens give you the right to redistribute that image on whatever products you're using. So a YouTube video, a book, a t-shirt, whatever. It's not always that they actually had the right to give you those creative licenses. Occasionally an image was posted that the poster didn't actually have the rights to post, and then Shutterstock would be on the hook for hosting that website, and Shutterstock would be on the hook for hosting that image, and then anyone who used that image would be on the hook for, well, any money they made by using it. So yeah, it's not always guaranteed that a stock photo website is actually hosting a stock photo that they can use. And it's not always safe to use them on your end, and because of that I prefer to design my book covers from scratch if possible. That one I just showed you wasn't designed from scratch, because do you know how annoying it would be to design a city on fire? I don't want to design that. No, I'll just pay a stock photo website to give me the photo. If it turns out that they weren't supposed to give me that photo, then I am screwed. Notification. What is the notification? Antivirus check complete, no threats. Yep, you can go away. And then Google Photos, cuddles and purrs. It keeps trying to get me to look at my old cat photos. Stop it. I know what my cats look like. I don't need to keep seeing photos of them. I can just go and see other people's cats if I want to look at a cat. My parents have cats. Just go and see their cats. Although one of them doesn't like me, and the other one thinks I'm a chew toy. So, yeah. It's been 2 years, and one of their cats still doesn't like the fact that I exist. At all. Unless I have food. Then he acts like I'm his best friend. But then again, that's just a cat for you. Cat being a cat. Oh well. I hear something. Oh, it's the laptop. How hot is it? How hot is it? Why are the fans going so fast? No, I don't want settings, I want temperature. Come on. How hot is the PC right now? 75 degrees. Why are the fans at 100%? If we're at 75 degrees, why are the fans at 100%? What's going on? Let's see. What's our power usage right now? What is our power usage? No results. Well, that's helpful. Hardware info? What's my power usage? It doesn't say. Why? Why doesn't it say? Oh, my SSD is at 90 degrees. Okay, that will be why it's putting the fans at 100%. My SSD is hot. Stupidly hot. Why is it at 90 degrees? I put a heatsink on it. Oh, here's my power usage. We're at 15 watts. What? We're at 15 watts and the fans are at 100%? That makes no sense. This is a 25 watt chip. The fans should not be at 100% for 15 watts. Maybe it is just my SSD. Why is my SSD overheating? I mean, sure, there's no fan pointed at it on this laptop, but I gave it a heatsink. It should have the thermal mass to dissipate the 10 watts that chip gives off. Maybe. I need a better laptop. I do need a better laptop. The ticking from the fan is annoying you. Yes, it's annoying me too. I can't fix it. I need a new fan. Just turn it off. No, it's too hot in here. It's too hot in here. Can't just turn it off. But it's affecting the audio. It's too hot in here. Look, okay. You see the size of this kitchen. It is a small space. When you are cooking, the heat, the radiant heat from cooking, warms up the air in this space very quickly. And there is nowhere for that air to go. Yeah, okay, there's no door. There is no door here. So in theory, the air should just circulate into the rest of my flat. But there's nowhere for that air to go. I only have one window. And with that window open, well, what's going to happen? Like, you need a through draft. You need more than one window for the air to circulate. Or circulate. There is only one window. And the window is open. But there is nowhere else for air to enter or exit. So that does nothing. And in the winter, it does plenty, because the temperature difference makes air circulate. But in the summer, it does nothing. Okay, putting it on full speed makes it tick a little bit less. Fine. Full speed makes it tick less. Why not replace the fan? Money? Just turn on the kitchen extractor fan. Do you see an extractor fan? Or a fume hood, or anything? Do you see one? There isn't one. Are you putting your potato into cold oil? Yes, I am. No one said that, but I'm just preemptively answering that. Yes, I am putting the potatoes in as the oil warms up, because it works. You're just going to end up with soft chips? No, I'm not. I'm not. Trust you, you will. Or, well, it says trust me, I will, but trust you, you will. No, I won't. I know what I'm doing, okay. I have a chip pan. It's a very nice chip pan. I make a lot of chips. I know how to make chips. If there is one thing I can cook, it's chips. And curry. Okay, there's two things I can cook. Curry on chips. Oh, that sounds delicious. I've never had that. Oh, that does sound good. Curry on chips. Curry on chips is delicious. Yep, sounds it. I've never had it though, I don't know why. That sounds like such a basic combination. Ugh. There's Pepsi on my face. How much longer on the meatloaf? 8 minutes. 8 minutes. 7 minutes, even. Do I have any plans for the rest of my day? Well, it's not even 7 a.m. yet, so the day technically hasn't started for anyone. And yes, I do. It's a bank holiday, and there is a seasonal event happening in town. It's a 4-mile walk to where it's happening, and I don't have any money for the bus, but I will very much like to go and enjoy the atmosphere, the people, the bikes, the events, the parade. It's Jack in the Green, I think it's called. It's an event that happens in the old town half of Hastings. At least I think it's called Jack in the Green. Let me check. May the 4th. It should be today. Yeah, Jack in the Green, Hastings. It is happening. It's an annual event that takes place in the historic seaside town of Hastings. It's a 4-day event, apparently. Oh yeah, it started on the 1st, but the main event is today, on the 4th. It's a parade. Everyone's going to dress up and get drunk, no doubt. What is actually happening today? Oh, come on. Where's the event list for today? Okay. So there's Morris dancers starting at 7:30. There's the main parade starting at 10 a.m. There's a party up on the hill, and that is for the rest of the day. And there will be a lot of other smaller events happening around town, no doubt, too. Anyway, I'm just going to go and join in. Basically, I've got no money, so I can't go and drink, but I can go and enjoy the ambience of drink people. Drunk people. You can't drink people. You're not a vampire, Daniel. Stop it. Sounds like fun. It was fun last year. Have we got the weather for it today, though? Let me check. Well, the weather isn't too promising. It's cloudy and foggy right now. It might rain. How can you not afford a drink? Isn't it cheap? No, pints are not cheap. Have you seen the price of a pint in England recently? No, they are not cheap. Especially if you go to anywhere that has like a high rent, so anything that's on the pier. If you try and get a drink on a pier in Hastings, you are going to be ripped off. Completely. Do not get a drink on the pier. Get a drink before you get to the pier. It's much cheaper. I guarantee, walking off the pier and crossing the road to the pub that's opposite the pier, you are going to save £4 about $6. That is the price difference for walking onto the pier. Anyway, no, it's not cheap to drink in England at all. I was going to say in Hastings, but no, it's the whole of England, especially not London. Have you seen the price of drink in London? I went to London for an event that I did for my birthday, and yeah, it was 12 quid for a pint. It was 12 quid for a pint. That's $15. It was $15 for a pint. And I had 3 of them. Yeah, it's not cheap. That's why I brew. That is why I brew, that is why I drink from home. And no, I am not saying iron brew. I don't drink iron brew. I'm not Scottish. But drink is not cheap in England anymore. And I don't quite understand why. Something happened. There is most likely a financial explanation somewhere as to why drink is so expensive in England now. But it is much cheaper to just buy a bottle from your local supermarket and drink at home. Seriously, for the price of the bottle, you could have gotten 2 drinks out. You buy yourself an entire litre of vodka and it costs you, 20 quid. Well, if you wanted to drink vodka in a pub, it's going to be a £5 a shot. So that's 4 shots for the price of an entire bottle. And okay, fine, if you don't want to be drinking spirits, you don't have to. Like cider and beer and ale, and it's all expensive, okay? It's all expensive. And it doesn't even have to be the high-end stuff. Even the cheap stuff on tap is expensive. The only place that I know of that still has affordable drink is Wetherspoons, which is the basic bitch pub in every town. If you're not familiar with Wetherspoons, it is a family restaurant that is just a pub with a lot of tables. It is not a restaurant. I would not consider their food to be restaurant-grade food. But when it comes to drink, if it's on tap, it is subsidized so heavily by their profits from other things that they do that it's actually cheap. Yeah, I think it's 3 quid a pint in a Wetherspoons, if it's on tap. If it's on tap, it's 3 quid a pint, which is the cheapest anywhere. And the way they can afford that is, well, back-end deals, no doubt. Oh. All that smoke on camera? That's a lot of smoke, to be honest. It charred. It charred. That explains the smoke. Okay. What happened? Oh no! I knocked the temperature dial at some point. It was at 220. Oh, how long ago did that happen? How long ago did that happen? Okay, hold on. How long ago did that happen? When did I knock that? It was at 220. Please tell me it's only been at 220 for like 10 minutes. It seems to only be the glazed top that's charred, but... Damn it! Oh, damn it. You think I touched the dial when I took it out to add the extra glaze. So it's been at 220 for 35 minutes. So it's effectively 20 minutes overcooked. That's not good. That's not good. Yeah. It's charcoal. I really hope it's still edible. I can't afford to throw away food. It'll be fine, it's just the sugars in the glaze. I hope so. Problem is, those sugars have stuck to the non-stick pan. Tray, whatever. Tin. trying to unstick the damn thing and it's just not working. Okay, well, the question is, how bad is it underneath? Okay, moment of truth. Yeah, the entire outer layer of this thing is charcoal. Oh. The entire outer layer of this thing is charcoal. How bad is it? Crunchy, tiny bit burnt taste. Still tastes like food. Oh god. Okay, so that's what it's looking like on the outside. Black, but the inside, not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah. I should have taken that out 10 minutes ago. I didn't notice that I'd knocked the dial. Damn it. I didn't notice that I'd knocked the dial. Chips need another 5 minutes. That's fine. The meatloaf, or the charred brick of meat, still needs another 5 minutes. I didn't notice. How do I even save this now? Do I just eat it with ketchup? It is a brick. It is charred. There is one tiny bit that looks like it's the right temperature, the right kind of glaze. It's still sticky. The rest of this, charred. That bit, sticky. Yeah. So, it's not going to come over on camera, but there is a very slight red sheen right here. That's the colour it should be. The rest of this, charred. Charred, charred, charred. It's not a very thick layer, so might be okay, but yeah, that's not a good attempt at meatloaf today. Overheated, overcooked, blackened. Just pretend you toasted the meatloaf. You don't toast meatloaf. You cook meatloaf. It's not actually bread. It is a loaf of meat. It is not bread. You don't toast it. Anyway, another couple minutes I'll slice it and we'll see how bad it is on the inside. Looks a bit flat. Yeah, I didn't have enough mince. That tin I used, I should really use about 1 kilo of mince. I only had 600 grams. So, not quite enough mince. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's no different than burning a burger on the grill. You'll still eat it. It'll be fine. Well, I've never burnt a burger on a grill, so I don't know that experience. I always cook my burgers good. I never overcook my burgers. I also don't have a grill, so... You've never barbecued a burger? Yes, I've barbecued a burger. On like those little disposable barbecues you can get, so I can sit on the beach with it. I don't have a garden, so I don't own a barbecue. But that doesn't count. Okay, 1 more minute until I slice that. You need about a 3, maybe 2 or 3, yeah. Not looking forward to this. I'm not looking forward to this. Well, time to slice. Okay. Okay. See how it goes. Okay, slicing it, it's still nice and soft. Let's get that on the plate. Oh yeah, actually. Look at the inside. The inside's fine. Yeah, the inside's fine. That's exactly what it should look like. Cool. No, that's just going to crumble if I try and slice it. That is just going to crumble. The outer layer is too tough. I can't slice it right now. Alright, put the other half in the microwave to cool off. I'll just have to slice it as I eat it, it'll be fine. And the chips, not quite done. That's fine. Right, how bad is this? Let me just... There is a slight burnt taste, but the rest of the meatloaf taste overpowers it after a few bites. I think it'll be fine. It'll be edible. That's a big slice. It's half, and it's already a smaller portion than I would usually make. So, yeah, okay, it's still a lot of food. I will admit, it's a lot of food. Yeah, give those another 60 seconds just to brown. Oh yeah, that's done. That's done. That is very much done. Yeah, golden brown. Perfect chips. Get the majority of the oil off of them. And then onto a plate. and cover them in salt. Perfect. Right. Meatloaf and chips. A little bit charred, but I'll just have to make sure I check the temperature next time. That's unfortunate. At least the chips look good. Hey, the meatloaf is fine. Anyway, thanks for catching the stream if you caught it live. Thanks for watching the VOD if you watched the VOD, though I don't know why you did. See you tomorrow for more food. I would say later tonight, but I'm probably just going to crash as soon as I get home from being in town. So, yeah, tonight is not going to happen. Why do I have to confirm stop streaming? I want